Yeah. Woo! Yeah, I'm so pumped. I'm so happy. I still can't go to bed. This has been a crazy, crazy night. Eagles, Cowboys, Sunday night. What else could you ask for? Okay, with a team that was obviously 4-1 and a team that was 5-0 going to this big Sunday night matchup, and the Eagles come out with it 26-17. I'm also going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about a lot of things that happened and just the result of what I think. Obviously, I'm going to nitpick a little bit. I am a content creator, so we have to talk about the good things, but we have to talk about the bad things, which we could probably agree on some things that we didn't really like in this game either. Got the Cowboys getting closer and closer near the end of this game, but at the same time, they took care of business, and the Eagles are 6-0 going into a bye. So let's talk about this whole entire game.
We better turn. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
So the fans have been chirping back and forth. The players have been chirping back and forth, talking crap all week to this matchup. We were waiting for this night because we wanted to show the Cowboys how fraudulent they were. Okay, we did not let them back in this game. Here was the Cowboys have got to say, okay, the Cowboys got closer in this game because the Eagles didn't make adjustments in the second half. That's the only reason. The Cowboys made adjustments in the second half of this game, but the Eagles didn't do a damn thing and just kind of fell apart in that second half, but were able to retain themselves at the end of the game, which has been happening every single game. Okay, which we've been talking about for weeks. Every game, teams are always coming back. Either they're up touchdowns or we're up at a certain lead and we just take our foot off the gas. So I'm going to get into all that later. But when it comes down to the first half of this game, guys, Nick Sirianni was aggressive. Shane Steichen's play calling was fantastic. What I really liked was the running back rotation. It kept everybody fresh, so they were switching running backs in and out like crazy. Boston Scott actually got some carries in this game, which was fantastic. We didn't really pass to any running backs, which I don't know why we don't do that with these guys still, but I thought they ran really well. Gamel ran good. Miles Sanders had 18 carries for 70-something yards, so he had a pretty good day. I think they could have even used him a lot more, but I thought he had a good day. Obviously, the first series for the Eagles, Hurts looked a little nervous. It was just too much, a lot of hype in this game, and I thought he was a little too much. He had that overthrown ball on the left side to A.J. Brown, but the Eagles went on it in fourth down in the first quarter twice. Okay, 2 fourth down plays that one of them resulted in a Miles Sanders touchdown, which I was really happy about. Okay, in the second quarter, you had the Bradbury deflection that resulted in the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson pick. Not 1 pick, but 2. Okay, the A.J. Brown touchdown over Micah Parsons to the right side, which was fantastic. And obviously, the Cowboys went on fourth down in the second quarter. Bradbury, yet again, with another deflection that resulted in 3 points. Now, since the first half, and here's what I was thinking, guys, the Eagles could have buried the Cowboys so much more in this game, okay? They could have done a lot more, and look, they resulted in just getting those 3 points 2 times in the first half, which, look, I'm totally fine with that. I just wanted something deep. I wanted them to kind of throw something down there, kind of just put a dagger right through them. I think the Eagles could have put the Cowboys away much earlier in this game. The Eagles didn't take advantage of that. They were just more conservative, and they were fine with what they were doing as long as they put some type of points on the board. Totally fine with it. Felt like the offensive line the first half was great. The running backs were great. Jalen Hurts was great. The wide receivers. Quez Watkins didn't have anything. The second game. This is the second, third game that Quez Watkins has pretty much been, not around. Not using him deep, not really doing much with him, anything. I mean, Quez really hasn't had a chance the past couple weeks, and, Devontae Smith had a touchdown in the second half, obviously, but I thought that they played very stout, very aggressive, which I really did like. Then Lane Johnson goes down at right tackle, and yet the Eagles are trying to make some adjustments, but they don't make any. Okay, before halftime, we kick the ball off to the Cowboys. Turpin comes down to the Eagles 40 on a kick return, and that really killed us. We gave them 3 points on that drive, which really sucks. because we were like, damn, of course special teams is going to do something to us. We've had an issue with the special teams. And look, I'll be as unbiased as possible when it comes to the review of this game, but when it comes to special teams for the Philadelphia Eagles, we suck at special teams. The blocking sucks. The coverage sucks. We just can't. We know that this was going to happen sooner or later. I know he didn't score 6 points, which was great, but running to our 40-yard line in the most important game like this on a kick return really sucks. And Turpin's been pretty good with that. So I knew they had a returner going into this game. And obviously with us on special teams, wasn't happy with Covey. It was just nothing that really made it so special for me when we were for our return specialists, even though they could make some adjustments with special teams, but they don't. They don't put Boston Scott at punt return. They don't do much. Okay. Bradbury had a fantastic day today. I think TJ Edwards had probably the worst game. A lot of the Cowboys were coming back from 17 points. I mean, they were coming back 17 points, and they were running a lot of tight end out routes nonstop, the same play over and over again. And TJ Edwards unfortunately couldn't cover it, playing that soft zone coverage. We only blitzed 3 times. And since that Lane Johnson was out, Jack Driscoll played the right guard spot and just didn't do much of anything. We didn't adjust. You had DeMarcus Lawrence sitting right in front of Driscoll, and you had Micah Parsons literally right on the edge, and they were killing Hurts. I mean, literally, you had your offense running the football, running these basic plays. They didn't look explosive. They didn't look aggressive. They just looked like they were trying to waste time. Yet again in the second half. Okay, the Eagles with Shane Steichen trying to conserve time, trying to waste as much time as possible, because really the Eagles wasted, 7-8 minutes that third quarter. That third quarter went by so damn quick, really fast. I mean, they wasted a good amount of time. That's great and all, but they strayed away from the mid-tier throws, no deep passes. They didn't throw middle of the field. And 3 blitzes on Cooper Rush, that's it. That's all. I felt like you could have, I said at least 4 sacks in this game on Cooper Rush. I felt like they were almost close. I felt like the Eagles Reddick should have had a couple penalties. Reddick should have had some holding calls on him. Graham should have had a holding call on him. There was a lot that was missed as well. So the Eagles were able to waste enough time, retain themselves, to get the touchdown in the fourth quarter with Devontae Smith, which really tricked me because I thought Jalen Hurts was handing the ball off. He tricked me a few times on some of those plays when you're watching on TV, whether you're watching on TV or, you're at the game. And that was a really good pass, which I really liked. That was that was on the Diggs penalty when he took his helmet off, and the Cowboys just got in their feelings at the end of this game, and they were fighting, and it was just so satisfying and so sweet. They were calling them the doomsday defense, that they were going to shut us down. And really, all the reporters, all the media had the Eagles winning this game pretty much. Even Michael Irvin had the Eagles winning. Even Jason Garrett had the Eagles winning. That's how crazy it was, because I'm like, with Anthony Brown on Devontae Smith and having A.J. Brown on Diggs, and I don't think Diggs can cover A.J. Brown. They should have used more A.J. Brown. I want to see a lot more from this offense. They could have stepped further on the Cowboys' necks and really choked them straight to heaven, literally. So many missed opportunities. I just don't like what they've been doing this every game. The Cowboys are patting themselves on the back right now. The fans are patting themselves on the back thinking, oh, the Eagles beat a backup quarterback right now, but the defense, held strong, and they didn't do much against us. The Eagles made no adjustments in the second half of this game. Okay, the only reason why the Cowboys got into this game is because the Eagles let them into this game. You understand? They went to their basic, I'm Shane Steichen, and I'm going to run these basic run plays to waste as much time on the clock as possible. And Jonathan Gannon's playing soft zone coverage, keep everything on the inside, tackle in bounds, and waste more time. They literally started doing that at the start of the second half. Literally. Chauncey Gardner with 2 picks today. Slay with a pick today. It was great. Even the first pick that Cooper Rush had no pressure on him and still threw a pick. So, there was times he had really good protection. And then the one that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he messed up his hand, and then he came back and got a really jumped in front of CeeDee Lamb to get that pick. It was kind of crazy. I was like, man, his hand must not feel that bad because he's catching that thing like it's nobody's business. But at the end of the day, guys, like, I think there's a lot of missed opportunity. There's always missed opportunity. There's always points. It should have been 28-3 at halftime. It should have been 28-3 at halftime. No joke. Like, they should have scored another time. And then the Eagles get, on the field, offensively in the second half, and they're just like, they just look like they don't know how to play football. It looks awkward. The play calling looks awkward. The Kelsey had the missed snap at the end of the game. Like, some of this really scared me at the end of the game a little bit, where they could have let the Cowboys in further and further and further. The Cowboys made adjustments, but it's only because the Eagles let them into this game, like I said before. Like, that's what really pisses me off, that they actually allowed them to get almost back into this game and beat us. But the Eagles had to be smarter than this. They have to be smart. They've been doing this since the first game of the damn season. Okay, before you guys stop saying that, oh, I'm just being I'm not being negative, but guys, this second half issue is a problem right now. It is. I'm so happy we're 6-0. We're going to the bye. The Eagles' schedule is manageable. It's beatable. I mean, you get them off this bye week, you got what? Steelers. You're down to the Steelers, the Titans, the Colts, Houston, the Commanders. I mean, you're down to some teams like the NFC is so weak right now. Like the Green Bay's getting beat by the Giants. Green Bay gets killed by the Jets today. I mean, it's just insane. Like this, the Eagles are the best team in the conference right now. Literally, they're the best team. The Bucs got beat. Tom Brady needs to go home and worry about his divorce and everything else that's going on with his life. You know what I mean? Like this is wide open for us to take it all as a seed. From the Packers and Bucs losing, it helps the seed so much, which is a great thing. The Saints lost against the Bengals, and now they play the Cardinals at home. The Cardinals will be at home Thursday night with D-Hop coming back. So that's going to help us out in the long run with this first-round pick that we have. But really, I mean, I can't blame the players in the second half. I never can. It's really with Gannon, the way he wants to run his defense in the second half, and I can't stand it. Because you cannot do this in the playoffs. If you get a playoff spot, you win the East, you get into the playoffs. You can't do this in the playoffs. There's no time for it because there's going to be a team that's going to come back, and the Eagles are going to be too conservative, and they're going to pull back. They're going to take their foot off the gas, and that's what they're going to do. They just can't do this. A win is a win at the end of the day, but you got to be saying to yourself, does Nick talk to Gannon about this issue that's happening every single game, or are they ignoring it and saying, well, we're undefeated and it's working, so why complain if it's working? It's working to an extent, but guys, like, this has got to get fixed. Just imagine how many more points we can put on the board. Just imagine, like, I want to put over 40 points today. That's what I wanted so bad. I don't know why these guys are why these coaches are letting up on these quarterbacks that they respect so much. Like, why do you only blitz 3 times in a game? Why do you play soft zone coverage? Why aren't you being more aggressive like you were in that first half? Offensively, no mid-tier throws, no middle of the field throws. Like, you guys just play it so safe. Like, when you have a specific type of lead, like, you guys do this, and I just don't. This team could be so much. There's just so much more that they could clean up, but they're not cleaning it up because they're doing almost the same thing every game. You know what I mean? So it kills me. It drives me absolutely insane every time I watch this game every week. I said to myself before halftime, I said, the only thing I'm worried about is the Eagles having a lead, and Gannon is going to take his foot off the gas, and we are going to look like we don't know how to play football. That's what I said during the stream when I was streaming the game. And it happened. Okay, it happened. But like I said, I thought it was a really good effort from everybody. I wanted to choke this team out even more. Okay, I want to step on the Cowboys' necks even harder, whether they couldn't breathe anymore. Like, I knew we could have done so much more in this game, because they just strayed away from so much from that first. Just imagine a first half put into a second half of a game. Just imagine the points. Just imagine the turnovers. Just if you blitz just a little bit more, just imagine what you could do. man, I always dream about that. Every week, I'm just like, man, what they could have done in this game. And look, but at the end of the day, we are 6-0. But at the end of the day, there are teams that go undefeated for so far, and some teams just fall apart. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like this team will fall apart because the camaraderie, everybody is team first. Okay, nobody is selfish. You know, look, I'm really glad that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had a really good game today. He deserved it. You know, he got traded to this team. He had to learn, and he's getting better every single week. We put Kevon Wallace in there, and he was horrible. I don't know why that guy is a number 3 safety. I put Reed Blankenship in there. I don't give a crap who you put in there. Do something at that spot because it's really annoying. When Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was not on the field, yeah, you could definitely see that there was a big shift as well. But after that kick return from the Cowboys getting to our 40, even kicking those 3 points, there was a swing in momentum at that point of the game. And I'm like, all right, came back in the second half, wasted some time, got some yards, got that touchdown to Devontae Smith, which was fantastic, but like I said, there's things to clean up. There are things to clean up. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, the Cowboy fans are not going to say much. They're going to take the loss, and they should just take it and move on because we don't play the Cowboys again until Christmas Eve. Okay? That's the next time we are facing them. And there's a lot of backtracking going on, and look what you did against a backup quarterback that almost beat you. Like, we didn't almost get beat. We let them in. Okay? We let them in. Literally, if I go home, okay, in a really crappy neighborhood and I keep my door unlocked and I get killed overnight for it, it's because I let it happen, guys. Because I let it happen and didn't lock the door when I got home. You understand what I'm saying? Trying to make it sound as make sense as possible. But there is fight in this team. There is resiliency in this team. There is a camaraderie. This team is all about the team first. And from what led to this game, we haven't beat the Cowboys since the Ben DiNucci game in 2020, where Carson Wentz barely even played as good as Ben DiNucci in that game when Ben DiNucci kind of just had us on the ropes. Okay, so they're pissed because we're filling ourselves up because of this win. But I'm sorry, because I remember last year when we took all our starters out the whole entire game before we played in that wild card game against Tampa. The Cowboys had their starters in for pretty much 4 quarters, scored over 40 to 50 points on us, and they said that they swept us realistically, and they made a big freaking deal about that damn win at the end of the year, which did nothing for them, okay? So you can always shove that in their face when they ask you these questions. But, yeah, it did worry me when Lane went out of the game. And I saw, let's see what Driscoll's got. And when I saw Driscoll getting pushed back, Jalen Hurts would get the ball in his hands. He'd move back so much that Micah Parsons just had a really good angle on a pass rush to get to Hurts a lot quicker. And it was an issue, but the Eagles made no adjustments. That was the problem with that. And they were starting to score more. We had no momentum. There was a shift. You know, so like I said, you guys know what happens in the second half of these games. I don't need to tell you every single week, but I will because I'm going over the game, and that's what has happened. Bradbury playing lights out, guys. Like, you gotta pay Bradbury. I mean, you literally have to. I mean, that guy is playing. You have 2 top 5 corners on this roster right now. I mean, it's crazy. Slay makes it look so damn easy. Okay, I thought Kaiser White played good. Defensive line, thought Reddick. I thought the pressures just weren't there, guys. Unfortunately, the pressures just weren't. They were there when it counted. You know, Reddick was getting there a couple times in the second half. Brandon Graham got there for that pick for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the second pick for Chauncey Gardner. I think it was in the 4th quarter. I think, you know what I mean. So there was some really good things to look for. There were some good things to look for there. So there was pressure when it was needed, but they played it safe too much, which got. I mean, I'm looking at Cooper Rush. And I'm like, this man doesn't move out of the pocket at all. Like, if you could just add a little tiny bit of pressure, just a little bit more blitzing, just add a little bit of flavor to it, he is gonna drop. Could have sacked him probably 4 to 6 times this game. No joke. I thought they could have got to him. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, and there was times where they were this close to getting to him. Like, it started to collapse a little bit, and it just wasn't enough. But it counted where it counted. You know what I mean? So I'm glad we're going to this bye week. The offensive line is just banged up right now. Okay, not everybody is 100%. Okay, Dickerson's banged up. Kelsey's banged up. Mulata just got back today. He's probably banged up. You know what I mean? Driscoll's probably the only guy that's healthy right now. You know what I mean? Samalo. Everybody's banged up. Lane Johnson's going through concussion protocol right now. So this was the right time. Chauncey Gardner with his hand. You know, this was the right time for the Eagles to get into this bye week, get these guys healthy, get these guys ready for the rest of the season because it was well needed. Sometimes we don't like these early buys, but sometimes, man, you really need it sometimes. You know, when the time comes, you're like, man, thank God we have this bye week. Now we can sit and we can laugh at the Cowboy fans all week and sit at 6-0 because we deserve to be here. Don't let anybody tell you different of where we should be at. If you're an Eagles fan and you're a diehard fan, and whether you're a diehard fan, a casual fan, whatever the case may be, and you watch the Eagles and you love this team, feel damn good about being 6-0. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing. I think this team played really hard last night. The crowd was so great. It was a packed stadium. It's a playoff atmosphere. That's how it is. But we have business to attend to the week after this week, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and more games after that, okay? So we have a lot more to look forward to. I made this video as long as it could possibly be, so I'm sorry about the ranting and raving about this video. If it was too long, I do apologize. But the Eagles are 6-0, so happy. The Cowboys fans can fucking suck it. I don't give a shit. You've been talking crap all week, and I don't care. I just don't care anymore. So you guys, let me know what you guys thought about the game. And make sure if you are new, you do subscribe to the channel and like the video as well because we cover the Eagles every single day, and this train does not stop. So I will see you guys on the next one. Fly, Eagles, fly. SHAKESQUAD up. Peace out. Peace out, guys. Peace.